Happy Friday, everybody. We are back at the whiteboard, our second episode. We are post Black Friday, we are post Cyber Monday. We have a bunch of brands that have been talking to us and starting to think about next year. And one of the things that just keeps happening, so I wanted to put it on the whiteboard and show you what we're talking about, is this. This right here looks like virtually every Shopify, WooCommerce, Magento, you name it. If you chart sales or leads over time, you end up with something that looks like this, right? There's some evergreen stuff running for most of the year. We get to a period, right? We just came out of one with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but for B2B, there might be a summer sale, a Memorial Day sale, a back to school sale, whatever it is, right? There is a sale, a promo period where revenue or leads just spikes up and everyone feels great. Right. I think if you opened up your business's dashboard and you charted when your sale was versus everything else, you'd see something that looks like this. Maybe you have a couple, but you'd see this pattern. And everyone usually feels really good about this because revenue's up, leads are up, and you feel we're crushing it. But the thing is that often, if you go a level deeper, this is actually what you see, right? Evergreen, we dropped in green. Sale, we dropped in blue. And if you chart here, contribution margin or profit dollars. So how much it costs to acquire that customer versus how much revenue you get from that customer over time. What you actually see is this, right? For a lot of brands, you're paying a little bit to get that customer and maybe you're losing a little bit of money at the initial, but they're pretty quickly getting back to even and then accelerating up. So you're making money on that customer pretty quickly. That's great. We love that. But if you chart your promo periods right here, you'll notice a couple things. Number one, you're losing more at the outset because you are paying more to acquire that customer. There is more competition. The payback period is also much longer. You can see it's almost double the length. In this particular thing, this is a imprecise example, but you, generally speaking, will see the same thing. But also, at the same point, at the end of our little consideration period here, 6 months, 12 months, the total revenue you've obtained, it's positive. You've made money on this cohort. That's great. But it's lower than your evergreen cohorts. So you've taken on more risk. You've gotten a lower reward. And a lot of people look at this and they say, well, am I getting a bad deal? Is something wrong? And the answer is, well, if this is the deal, then yeah, that is a bad deal. But I think we're looking at it the wrong way. So there's 4 different things going on, and usually we only talk about 2. So let's talk. The first 2 that we talk about, there's more competition during BFCM than there is during the rest of the year. There is more competition, usually among your industry, for your big sale moment than there is the rest of the year. That means you're going to pay more. The person who's willing to pay the most gets the clicks, and during these periods, people are willing to pay more. That's one. That's what moves this lower. Number 2, the other contributing factor that moves this lower is you have a steeper offer, right? You are giving more. During Black Friday, Cyber Monday, a brand might give a 30% discount versus 10. During a Memorial Day sale, a window company might give 1,000 off versus 100. That's a steeper offer. That's got to come from somewhere, and it comes from the marketing budget, right? It comes from the brand's bottom line ultimately. If a brand would ordinarily get $10,000 from a customer, but they only get 9, that $1,000 comes from somewhere, and it's not from the workers who are doing the work. It's not from the manufacturers supplying it. It's not from the ad platforms who aren't charging you as much. It's from the pocket of the business. So we are paying more to acquire the customers, and we are getting less from those customers because we gave them a better deal. These are math questions. We can solve these. We can determine what the optimal offer is. We can determine how much we should pay for a customer. That's easy to do, right? But this is usually where most people stop. This is where most businesses stop. We think about the math questions. How much can I pay and how much can I give in order to get customers that still make me some money over time? And that's where most brands stop. But I think that's wrong. That's where you go wrong. Because there's 2 different questions that you need to ask. Number 1, this is a different kind of customer. A promo customer, a Black Friday, Cyber Monday customer is somebody who is looking for a deal. They are probably bigger shoppers. They are probably less brand loyal. They are probably actively seeking a lower cost solution. They are more economically motivated. Hence why they bought here, but not here. Number two, they have a different perception of value. Their introduction to your brand came when your product or service was valued by you, the business, at a lower level than normal, right? Pretty simple. If I see on the day that I meet somebody that, they are offering a widget for $10, okay, well, I'm going to say, well, my perception, my first impression, and first impressions matter, of that widget is it's worth $10. But then if I come back 3 weeks later and it's 30, my perception of that widget's value hasn't changed. It's still a $10 widget. It's just now being sold for 30. Compare that to here, where I saw it at 30 and I bought it at 30. My perception of the value is at 30. Their perception of your brand value is anchored by the promo, the discount. They think that your brand is worth less than other customers. And so they're less willing to buy again. They're going to wait for you to offer another discount. They're going to be, honestly, a pain in your rear end with returns and customer service requests because they are price sensitive and because they think your brand is worth less than you do because their introduction came at a time when you offered it for less than you normally do. These are easy solve. These are the questions most brands don't solve. These are the ones that if you want to take this and turn it into something better, you need to solve. So how do you do that? Let's go to the solution. Number one, rapid response. Most brands suck at their post-promo email and SMS campaigns. They're terrible. They use the same campaigns they use for Evergreen, maybe with a little Santa put in, with a little holiday hat for a BFCM. That's not going to get it done. Remember, these are customers that are coming in with a very different perspective and perception and value assessment of your brand. You need to immediately set the record straight, correct that assessment, and give them a reason why. What do I mean by that? So number one, we're going to validate the brand perception. We're going to show them what's great about our brand. We are going to welcome them and show them how we are a premium, non-discount, non-Walmart, sorry Walmart, but you guys are kind of a discount shop, right? Your brand is worth something. You need to communicate that worth. Number two, we're going to educate and inform you. We want to not just tell you that we're worth something, we want to show it. We want to show the features, the engineering, the time, the R&D, all of the stuff that goes into making your product or service something special, unique, and worth paying for. Those people probably didn't get what they saw as a promo ad. So we need to now go back and backfill that knowledge gap. We need to show them, yeah, you know what? These windows are made in America. You know what? This service here is done by people who are from your community and we pay them a great wage because we want to be good corporate citizens. Hey, this product that you purchased actually had 7 years of R&D, was made by a NASA engineer and has 17 patents. They didn't hear any of that. What they saw was a gift or an item they could get on sale. So we need to go back and backfill that knowledge. More education. But then the final piece, the cherry on top, is you're going to congratulate them on getting a good deal, right? We like to internalize success and externalize blame. So for instance, when things go great, it's because I'm awesome and I work hard and I do X or I have done Y. When something sucks, it's because the economy or somebody else or bad luck. We externalize blame. Well, in this case, we're going to lean into that. We're going to say, you were a smart customer. You were a savvy customer. You got this incredible thing that has so much value for a price that no one else did because you were smart. You waited. You were strategic. You did good, and your reward for your good timing and your hard work was a price that no one else got. This isn't like we gave you a deal. You got the deal. You earned the lower price. Because now all of a sudden what we're saying is if they're going to devalue your brand, they're going to devalue their own effort, and no one devalues their own effort. Right? So we're going to flip this on its script and we're going to do it within the first 72 hours because that's when this is going to be fresh in their mind. If you don't have an email series that does these 3 things, you need to have one. It's even better, even SMS. Okay, so once we've done that, the next piece of this equation, we need to accelerate the time to pay back, right? If you look here, right here, this isn't good. This is potentially a month, 2 months that you are holding the bag for these customers that you paid to acquire, that you paid to ship them a product or a service, that you paid for your team to work on them, that you are out that money. We need to accelerate that. So we're going to immediately recommit and upsell. What does that look like? Well, number one, depending on the promo, the offer, et cetera, that you ran, find premium or full price upsells or cross sells. And you want to immediately put those in front of them. For instance, if you sold a skincare trial kit, very simple cosmetics example, well, you might want to immediately upsell them with a lip gloss or a hand cream for the winter or something else that's timely, but it's full price. This restates the brand position and the brand value because now you're giving them a full price option, right? There's no more discounts. We are immediately reasserting our full price, but we are showing them how this is helpful, right? The same thing is true in services, right? You came in to this SaaS platform on a deal or a promo. Well, now we're going to offer you premium support to help you get the most. We're going to offer you white glove migration service. We're going to offer you X, Y, or Z, right? Same thing in home services. We offered you $1,000 off windows. Great. Well, if you're replacing your windows, you might as well do the doors. We've got the best doors that are going to help keep your house warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Right? Immediate full price cross-sell and upsell. Number two, we're going to highlight the value of premium. Right? We're not just going to say we offer these things. We're going to tell you that customers who used X and Y received Z benefit that is better than either X or Y individually. However you want to phrase that, you can. Right? If you used our white glove service, you saved 50 hours of time. Immediate value, because now they're going to value their own time in their mind, and they're going to see the price that you're charging, and they're going to say, my time is worth more than that price. I should do that. It's a good deal. And the third piece, this one is where we start to get into behavioral rewiring a little bit. So we're going to tap into loss aversion engineering. And instead of simply offering them additional things, offering them upsells, offering them access to advanced analytics, offering them a subscription, we're going to give it to them. No questions asked. We're going to email them or SMS them or put a note in the package or however you want to do it and say, hey, you know what? We're giving this to you. It's yours. But then we're going to take it away. It's yours for 30 days. It's yours for 60 days. It's yours for 90 days. People are much more viscerally reactive to losses than to gains. If I am given advanced analytics, if I am given white glove support, if I am given migration help, if I am given a subscription, if I am given membership in a club, and then it goes away, well, I need it back. Right? Cable companies do this wonderfully well with a free trial, and they give you, right? You sign up for Comcast and they give you 6 months of Netflix, and then one day your Netflix is just gone and you're like, wait a minute. I need it. It was mine. I want it back. So we're going to use that same strategy here. We're going to give them something that's advanced, and then we're going to take it away. And what that's going to do is it's going to prompt them to go for one of these full price upsells or cross sells, or it's going to force them into a premium position. So now what we're doing is we're getting money out of this customer because we are showing you, hey, you had something and now you don't. And if you want to get it back, you're going to have to pay. And they're going to say, okay. And three, we're going to tailor our interventions. So typically, most brands will send the same email, the same SMS, the same retention campaign to every person who bought during the big sale, the promo, whatever. That doesn't work. And it doesn't work for a few reasons. Number one, not all of these customers are going to buy. Some of these are gifting customers, or some of these might be one-off customers. Some of these might be pain point customers who are just coming with you because they had an issue. They're never buying again. Number two, it's expensive to re-engage all those people. It costs real money. It costs real time. And number three, they all don't want the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch that model up a little bit. And we are going to use propensity-based campaigns. So most AI tools now, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, can help you build propensity-based scoring models. So you are sending email campaigns to the most likely to repurchase again based on those individual customers' behaviors that you can then feed into the model. That's one. That's fantastic because now you are ignoring or minimizing your spend on the lowest percentage customers, and you are spending more time and energy on those who are more likely to buy. Makes your revenue per send go up, and it accelerates your total payback for the cohort because you are getting hotter customers in. But for those people on the other end, what we're going to do is do some segmented or more targeted offers. Because remember, these people who are unlikely to buy, so what we want to do for them is to give them the best chance to buy, or the best chance to re-engage with your brand, the best chance to submit another lead to use a premium service. So we're going to use segmented sends for those people. So the best people, the highest propensity to buy, we are going to really be aggressive in our sends. People with the low propensity, we're going to target and segment offers to maximize the chances of them buying. And then the final thing, especially if you have a product that does have a recurring component to it, skincare, vitamins, protein powders, gyms, etc., right? Anything that's like a regularly consumed or used product, you can use usage-based emails to remind people, hey, you're almost out of X or Y. Hims or Hers has actually done a ton of great campaigns. If you ever need ideas, just download the app and go through a process because the marketing they do based on usage is fantastic. They remind you, hey, have you done X, Y, or Z? Have you used the protein powder? Hey, based on what we recommended for you, based on your usage requirements, you're probably going to be out of protein in 7 days. So we're going to go ahead and ship you another one. Let us know if you want to opt out. You know what that does from a customer experience perspective? It's great because it doesn't break the habit of using it. But from a revenue standpoint, it compresses this timeline and pushes up this dollar value. Because now I'm not hoping for more revenue. I am actively making it happen. I'm not hoping somebody's going to reorder. I'm helping to automate that process. And then the final thing is you really want to track your cohort level performance. Because again, ultimately what our goal should be is to avoid this. We want our promo cohorts and our evergreen cohorts to behave similarly. Because if you can do that, then the incremental volume that you're getting on those promo cohorts is not being offset by the incremental loss in value to the business. So what are we going to do? Number one, we want to look at how quickly to the next sale. We know what the initial value is of the sale of the lead, etc. So now we want to ask questions like, well, how long does it take us to break even? What is the 30, 60, 90, 180 day cash that we are getting from those customers? From a lead generation standpoint, you can also ask questions like, how quickly are these leads moving through sales? What percentage are sales qualified? What percent of sales qualified are closing? What is the AOV of those sales qualified leads? How quickly are we upselling, right? Just because you are not an e-commerce business does not mean you cannot use the same exact analysis in order to determine if your promo cohorts are underperforming your evergreen and what you should do about it. Because everything here can be applied to both B2B and B2C businesses. It just takes a slight tweak, but fundamentally what we are trying to do is change this pattern, and this pattern emerges everywhere. So if you do these four things, you rapid response, you immediately try to get them to recommit to the brand and upsell, you tailor your interventions, and you track key performance metrics, you will be able to, over time, determine, number one, what interventions, what tactics best achieve this goal. So then you can hopefully in future promos, apply them faster. And number two, you can then move from a place where you are trying to do the math on how much you are losing on the incremental value of your promo cohorts versus the volume to determine what makes sense, to a place where this volume more really does mean more, because you have a system in place that converts high volume to high margins with the same efficiency as your evergreen campaigns. That's all for this week. Come back next week and we will talk about something else fun.